Welcome to Modern Entrepreneur. Today we have Rachel Schnorr, Joseph Hogg, Christy Mims, Carla Johnson, Welcome to Modern Entrepreneur. I'm Landon Ray, and today we have Matt Barnett, who is an industrial designer and artist by trade. He turned everything upside down in 2011 to launch a tech company in Sydney, Australia. Bonjoro was born from a customer success hack for his first startup. The team would send every new sign-up a personal welcome video, and it snowballed from there. His love of building great products is only surpassed by that of building strong business cultures, and he believes that culture has been the core driver of Bonjoro's rapid growth. With a vision to help every business be more customer-centric and scale real human relationships, Bonjoro is just the start of Matt's journey. Cool. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so tell me about, I already know the answer to this, just incidentally, because we've used your product, but tell everybody else what Bonjoro is.
So it's essentially an app that plugs into Ontraport or any CRM you have and lets you send one-to-one.
Are there other CRMs?
There are no other CRMs.
Okay, I didn't think so.
One-to-one personal video messages to customers at key points on a customer journey. So for instance, when someone signs up, when John signs up from Ogilvy, you send John from Ogilvy a message and say, hey John, saw you signed up, love what you do at Ogilvy, we already work with 20 agencies, why don't we have a call and talk about how we can help you out. So his first piece of communication he gets off you is not an automated email, it's a video message recorded straight for him that goes to his email.
Recorded straight for him. I just want to be clear that what we're talking about
Only for him.
Is that, just to be hyper clear, we're talking about an app that's on your phone where you basically do a selfie video for every customer. So you get like a notification, it's like, do a selfie video for so-and-so that just signed up, and you're like sitting in your chair and you're like, hey, what's up, man, let's connect, send, and off it goes.
And off it goes, delivered to their email, branded up.
Branded up.
Call to action at the end of the video, so once they've watched it, they can go and book a demo, take the next steps in your platform, whatever you want that to be. The point being that if you spend this 30 seconds on a customer, it delights them, it surprises them, it shows that you care, and the chance of them then starting a conversation and moving on, it'll be found is about 3 times higher than using a generic email for that first piece of communication.
3 times higher than using a generic email communication. Well, that seems like a pretty good deal. So your system has been launched in, what did you say, 2000, no, when? 2011?
No, January last year is when we launched it.
Oh.
So we actually run another business, and we built this as a sales hack.
Oh, gotcha.
For that business, and then one of our customers was like, can we use this please? I was like, sure. And then it just snowballed.
It just snowballed. All of a sudden,
and here we are today.
All of a sudden, everybody wants it.
Apparently so, yeah.
What happened to the other business?
So it still runs. So we sell to agencies in London and New York. The reason we built this was because we all live in Australia, and this is important.
Yeah.
But when you live on the other side of the world and all your clients are asleep, when you're awake, we were like, we need to use video to get this wonderful personality across.
Gotcha. So the original business was an agency.
It's an agency. It does research. It uses some video technology as well, so we understand the space. But it's a research tool.
Research tool for just nothing to do with marketing business.
No.
I gotcha. So it's a totally unrelated business.
Totally
and
unrelated
all of a sudden, this growth hack that you developed suddenly turns into a product, and boom, you've got a whole other business on your hands.
Now you've got 2.
Now you got 2.
This is not good advice here. If you've got a company, do not go and start another company.
No.
But we were there, and it started to happen. And I remember having a beer with my CTO, and I look at him, and he looks at me, and I'm like, you know, we're gonna have to build this. And he's like, you mean I'm gonna have to build it? And I was like, yeah.
And you're like, yeah, actually, that's exactly what I mean.
He's like, yeah, I know. He's like, I know. He's like, oh, here we go. But it worked out well. It was a great risk that we took. It worked out well, and it's grown. It's actually surpassed the first business, I think maybe 2 months ago.
2 months ago, you surpassed the business you've been working on for 7 years. 7 or so years. And in 1 year?
Just over a year, so probably 18 months.
18 months you've been doing Bonjoro. And how many users do you have at this point?
So I think we're 800.
800 users. And so amazing. Sales teams, individual people, what kind of companies?
Founders, customer success teams. If you look at who our users are, they're not so much driven by industry or job. They actually tend to be what we call micro-influencers. So anyone in a role where they have influence over generally customers, and that can be a founder, of course. It can be a CS, customer success manager. It could be someone in marketing. It could be sales. Someone who is happy to get on video and actually has to be customer first. because you're sending videos to customers saying, welcome on board, we care about you.
Yeah.
It's got to be authentic.
Yes, you got to actually care.
Some
about
people,
them.
banks, shouldn't use this.
Yeah.
Like some companies just don't get on video.
Yeah.
But it's that kind of mindset that gets across.
Yeah.
And because it's all about communication, it doesn't really narrow itself down to a specific role or field, if you like.
So it sounds like you've been through a couple of different things. This initial business that you had, then this random success that came out of this tool that you built. If you could go back a few years, 10 years, and give your early self a bit of advice, what would that advice be?
I feel like it all works out. If you keep getting up again and again and again, which is what we did, but there was points when that journey is quite terrifying.
Yeah.
Especially when, when we failed before, we failed with another product and we got up and did it again and we did it again. And you're always in your head going, it's fine, we're going to get there. But you're like a hope. And looking back, I'm like, well, inevitably, I think if you keep working in business and you keep going, you absolutely get there.
So perseverance.
Perseverance, and because of that, maybe don't stress so much about it. I do think surrounding yourself with other people in business helps because they're going through the same journey. But I think just have confidence in the fact that you'll get there.
Do you think that's true for everybody, or do you think that you have a particularly unique skill set that makes that true for somebody like yourself?
I mean, I'm an industrial designer. I'm not in tech. So the fact I'm in tech now, it wasn't my field.
Yeah.
I am the kind of person who will keep going.
Yeah.
But anyone who's the kind of person who will keep going will get there. That's what I think. It's very rare that you hear about people who fail having got up again and again and again. They fail because they give up in a year. Yeah. Or give them 2 years maybe, yeah? Yeah. And it's not a short game. It's a 7-10 year. I mean, you would know. 15, 20 year play, yeah? Success is not overnight. No. But you definitely think that when you first start out. You're like, in 2 years' time we'll sell for 50 million. It doesn't happen. But as long as you keep going, I just think you can't keep going without learning. Every time you make a mistake, that mistake is great because it means you're not going to do it again. It's actually quite powerful, and you have to get through a lot of mistakes. And people can give you, I can give this advice, you can give advice, and people have to go out and make the mistakes themselves regardless. Yeah. So 5 years, it's a good time to make all those mistakes you have to make anyway. Yeah. It's going to happen. Yeah. So just plan on it taking much longer than you hope, and deal with it. Yeah, and don't do it for the, don't build a business for an exit. Business is the most time you'll spend is in business. I love my partner, we're about to have a kid soon, but I'm pretty sure I still spend more time awake in the office than I will do with them, at least in the week. If you don't absolutely love what you do, if you don't love doing it for the sake of doing it, you're not going to get out of bed in the morning on those hard days. If you're doing it for money or for an exit, it's not the thing that's going to get you coming back again and again. You have to love it. You have to enjoy it. You have to have some fun while you're doing it. Yeah, I totally hear you. And it's interesting. You just to make clear what I think you're saying. We just had somebody on this show a bit ago who said, build to sell. And that was his advice, right? Yeah. But I think that it wasn't, he certainly wasn't saying build to make a bunch of money. He was saying build an organization that, with the idea that somebody might come by it someday so that you have your ducks in a row and you're thinking strategically about what makes an organization valuable. But what you're saying is, that may be true, but you gotta love what you're doing, because if it's just about the money, you're not going to have what it takes to persevere through all the knockdowns. Yeah, and there's a stage in time. I'd say at the very beginning, build to sell to customers. Only, that should be where you're selling. Yeah. I read about whiskey the other day, just brought back all their investors' shares. No, I didn't know that. So they raised 70 million, I think, in debt, and brought out all that, so that everyone got the exit they were after. And they published it and just said, look, at the end of the day, we love the business, we love what we do, we're in this for life. Which is so unique. It is so unique. But they have an amazing culture, and you look at them and you see them, you get that they love what they do, you see it come through. Yeah. And that's fine, yeah. People, not everyone gets it. The Alaskan guys aren't selling tomorrow; they're doing it because they love it. And so I get the sell mentality, but there's actually other options at the end of the road. So you don't know what you start building today in 7 years, 10 years time. Yeah. I'm sure Ontraport today is not what you envisioned, when you first started. No. And it might just be so much more than what you can imagine. Yeah. So do you think you do have a unique skill set that you've brought to the table that has had you be successful? I think the perseverance, risk appetite, for sure. I'm a creative, which is probably quite a strange place to come from to start a business. But I think creatives make, I'm massively biased, but I think creatives make good leaders as long as you can also be rational in order to run a business. So you can't be a complete creative yet. You have to be able to have like almost the kind of left and right brain. Interesting, you see kind of industrial design as kind of engineering and art, so it almost has that strange, I mean, I see there's a Johnny Ive book on the back there, there's that same kind of mindset.
Yeah.
But there's lots of designers, there's lots of creatives, there's no kind of rules. If I think just some people get up and they're like, I'm going to run a business. And that's the only answer.
Yeah.
And if you're that mentality, then again, you'll get there.
Yeah.
You know, I've just happened to be one of those people.
Yeah.
I think it's genetic, not a trained thing.
Yeah.
I was just born and I was like, I'm going to do this.
Yeah. No other options.
There's no other options, yeah.
So how do you get customers at Bonjoro? I mean, obviously you use your own tool probably to say welcome or whatever, but how do you get them in the door in the beginning?
Yeah, so we absolutely do eat our own dog food. So every person that comes in, we send a message to. Now that we can track, I know 48% of our traffic is word of mouth and viral.
From other people's messages, it says like powered by Bonjoro or
People
whatever?
sending Bonjoros and people going, what is this, and signing up. But then there's a bunch of word of mouth we don't track. So we'll see huge spikes when we have customers recording messages about us, talking about us at conferences. I think because we're doing this whole piece is around delight and caring about customers, because it's such a good message,
Yeah.
we get a lot of, I guess, kind of PR from that.
Yeah.
We haven't spent a single dime on advertising really, to be honest. In fact, coming here is our first kind of proper like event that we've done. But it's worked wonderfully.
Good.
And I think this idea of just treating every customer the same, like I always say, there's a guy called Pat Flynn, who I'm sure everyone knows. I had no idea who the guy was. He signed up, sent him a message. He signed up. He started paying, and I was like, oh, this whatever. Pat seems like a nice guy.
Pat, yeah. Hey, what's up, Pat?
Hey, what's up, Pat? And then suddenly, like 2 months later, we have these like hundreds of signups start coming in, and he's on stage at Traffic and Conversion or Social Media Marketing World talking about us. And everyone's like, oh, do you know who Pat Flynn is? And I was like, no idea. But we treated him the same as any other customer.
Yeah.
And so you do the same service.
Yeah.
And so you just don't know where, your advocates will come from.
Yep.
Treat everyone well. And the advocate might be someone who signs up, Ben with a Gmail account from, Siberia. Like who knows, yeah?
Yeah.
If you have that attitude, I think you just uncover those stones.
Yeah. So what is your kind of personal cutting edge right now? What are you learning about? What are you excited about? What's next?
So for us, I think it's looking at this idea. So we can't champion customer delight, but as a systematic tool to grow business. And Bonjoro we've spent the last 18 months, like I say, we built it by accident. Spent the last 18 months trying to work out what it is we're actually doing.
Yeah.
We know it works. We're like, why does it work? And it's this idea of, I think customers have got to a stage where they may be a little bit jaded from generic messaging and not feeling personal. And it's easy. There's so many people starting businesses today that to stand out, this personality thing is so important still.
Yeah.
The challenge is how do you scale it up? With Bonjoro, as it's growing, we're having this thing where people are like, well, how do I do it to 20,000? And bigger and big customers are signing up and they're going, well, how do we scale it? How do we scale it? So how do you do personalization, delight at true scale? And so with our product, we've got some ideas, some things we're going to be releasing that kind of start to work up that funnel, if you like.
I mean, it seems like at some point the whole point of the thing is that it's not scalable, right? Like, isn't that? It's personal.
There's a balance, yeah. So if you look at us, we'll do 50 videos a day out to people, which seems crazy, but when each one takes us 30 seconds, it's
25 minutes.
25 minutes, yeah. And that video, it shows us what the person's done in our system. It shows them, who they are, where they live, so we can personalize it.
Yeah.
So this is what I mean by personal at scale. Whereas if I had to go and look them up, in our CRM and then come back and then record a video, it wouldn't be scalable.
Right.
And video is video is not the business. Video is just a medium. This is video. Video is just a way of giving information, and it works very well for communication because it captures facial expression.
Yeah.
But there's hundreds of other ways to personalize things, and so we're starting this journey, and we're like, right, that's one touch point sorted. What happens when a customer's been with you for 7 years and 13 months?
Yeah.
What should you be doing at that point? Like, what matters then that's going to get them to stay another 7 years?
Yeah.
And how do we educate businesses, and through the tool to say, look, today you should go and do these 5 things for these 5 customers, because if you do this, they'll stay with you longer.
Yeah.
And tomorrow there's different 5 customers who need a different 5 touch points. Again, personal. Like the whole beauty of automation is it should free you up to build relationships. You know, it shouldn't replace relationships. The whole point of automation is to give you the time that you can give back to customers.
Yeah.
That's kind of how we see it.
Yep.
But it's quite hard to do that with a lot of tools that are out there today. Again, it's working out this funnel and how do you fit it in. So we're learning. Like the short answer is, we have some new features coming out, some new tools coming out on the product. But I feel like we're kind of building this new market, this new kind of school of thought, and so we're learning from customers as we go.
Exciting.
It's exciting. But I couldn't tell you where we'll be in a year's time.
Well, good. Good. That's what makes it exciting.
Yeah.
So you can't tell us where you'll be in a year's time, but if you thought about your kind of like whole career, what do you imagine your legacy? What would you like your legacy to be about? Yeah.
So I'm personally a big environmentalist. I would like, and we do 1% with the company, and we've always started to give it back, and we sponsor some bears, of course. It's the whole reason you do business is to make change, is to make impact. Now, you look at the kind of world, it's not about making me rich. That's not really a driver for me. You build a business so you can get the power and the ability to then go and do things like save species from extinction. It's my personal kind of goal.
Yeah.
I think if by the time my life was done, I'd saved a number of species from that brink. Not pandas or not whales or the beautiful creatures, things like the insects and the amphibians and the things that no one cares about. If I could build a business to a scale where I could then go and do that, and it takes a lot to move those mountains.
Yeah.
That would be me very, very happy. That would be a good life.
Yeah.
I would say.
How exciting. What a great goal.
Yeah.
So we've called this thing Modern Entrepreneur, trying to figure out what it is that's unique about doing business, today, 2019, when this thing comes out, that's different than it was, 5 years ago, 10 years ago. What do you think it is to be a modern entrepreneur?
I think speed. I think you have to be able to move and react incredibly fast. It's easier than ever to build businesses. It's easier than ever to launch, and therefore there's more competition coming out. More businesses than ever in the world are being launched every single day. So to succeed as an entrepreneur, you have to be incredibly quick. When you see opportunities, you have to take them, and you have to move fast to make it.
Cool. Well, hey, Matt, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks,
really
Matt.
appreciate it. Would you sign our wall?
Would love to.
Awesome.